सबसे पहले नंबर पर अगर मैं लेना चाहूंगा तो शायद हमारे डॉक्टर न्यूटन ही है। तो आज हम उनके अनुभवों को सुनेंगे, आज उनके ज्ञान को भी सुनेंगे। और सबसे बड़ी बात है कि डॉक्टर न्यूटन जो है ये सिर्फ अब डॉक्टर नहीं रह गए हैं, बल्कि वो आध्यात्मिक जगत में इतनी ऊंची छलांग लगा गए हैं कि आज इनको ब्रह्मर्षि कहा जाता है। और इनको एक प्रकार से हम इसको एक बुद्ध पुरुष की तरह हम इनको देखते हैं। तो आध्यात्मिक जगत में इनकी मिसेस डॉक्टर लक्ष्मी ने और इन दोनों ने मिलकर जो ऊंचाइयां प्राप्त की है और जो जिस ढंग से ये आगे बढ़ रहे हैं, ये हमारे भारत के लिए बहुत अमूल्य रत्न है अपने आप में। और तो ऐसे डॉक्टर जो है आज हमारे साथ जुड़ रहे हैं। और सौभाग्यवश हम पुराने जानकार और मित्र रहे हैं। तो मैं बहुत दिनों से सोच रहा था कि डॉक्टर न्यूटन जो है ऐसी हस्ती को हमारे विद्यार्थियों के सामने इनको पेश किया जाए। तो उसी दृष्टि से आज हमने ये कार्यक्रम रखा है। तो आप लोग जरूर इस कार्यक्रम को एंजॉय करेंगे, ये मुझे पूरी आशा है। I invite Dr. Newton Kondaveli. I really, Dr. Saab, very nice to see you here today after very long time. And thank you very much for joining us today. For all our Reiki students worldwide have joined today to see you here and to hear you. So it will be a very that we are lucky to hear you today. So please welcome and you can now take over.
Dr. Sharma ji, it's wonderful to meet you through this virtual platform. Our association is very long. I remember the time that I used to come to Delhi through Reiki Healing Foundation. You allowed us to share the knowledge about past life regression in your center, and many times in Chandigarh and Delhi. I always remember the fantastic memories that I always carry in my heart. I thank you, sir, for inviting me today to speak to the Reiki practitioners and the students of Reiki Healing Foundation. Yes, Sharma ji, it's my great privilege today to speak to all of your students, and it's been now been streamed live through Quantum Life University channels as also. All the friends, I warm welcome to all of you friends. Today I'll be speaking about the science of past life regression therapy. How to really move forward, fast forward through regression therapy. And my sadhana began long back in 1989 when I met my guru who taught me meditation practice. Brahmashri Pitamaha Patriji, the founder of Pyramid Spiritual Society's movement, is my Dhyana Guru who introduced me to meditation. So that point of time, I was 19-year-old. I had several questions in my mind, like what is the meaning of life? Who am I? What should I do in this life? Why do we die? And what happens after death? Is there life after death or not? These were my questions at that time. So very soon, through the practice of meditation, I started finding some of the answers. So many experiences have molded me, shaped me to understand spiritual science. So today the topic past life regression. This is my very first experience that I went through my own practice of meditation. So initially, I didn't know that whether past lives exist or not. I never had any kind of knowledge about past lives. I just came to know about meditation practice. My guru said, make your monkey mind silent and empty. Sit quietly, close your eyes and observe the breathing. Only this practice he asked me to do for at least for 40 days and every day for 3 hours. Initially, I thought it's going to be so easy, but later on I found it's the most difficult thing to do. To make this mind empty and silent is the most challenging thing to do. But I was continuing the practice, and 40 days practice of this stillness meditation, my mind became utterly empty. I started getting some experiences like witnessing my own physical body from outside. Later on, my past life vision started coming to me. One of the most profound vision which has touched me, which has a very deep impact on my life, is lifetime when I was a Buddhist monk, where I was teaching about law of karma and reincarnation. And it's 2000 years back. In the ancient times, in Bangladesh, there was a university called Takshashila University. I was there in that ancient university teaching about Buddhist doctrine of reincarnation and law of karma. So I was actually doing the same kind of similar work. What I am doing right now, it is just continuation from my previous life. But at that time, when these glimpses started coming to me, I did not believe in my own experience. I was skeptical initially. Whether is it my mind cooking up a story? Is it imagination, hallucination? So I want to make sure that it is a true past life. So what happened is, there was a curiosity that came to me where I want to do the similar kind of process to a person. First experimental subject was my own grandmother, who was willing, who was ready to go through this process. So initially, whatever way that I have accessed the past life memories through meditation, I tried to give the same kind of instructions to my grandmother. I told her to close her eyes, given her instructions to go into deep meditation, stillness of the mind, and she was highly cooperative. She went into a very deep kind of state of trance. And when I given instructions to go back in time, she started accessing childhood memories, which are forgotten memories, and later she remembered even womb memories when she was in utero. And later on, I was asking her to go further back into past life, and she was in a past life memory. This is my first aha moment that occurred when I listened to her experience through past life session. And she was narrating about a lifetime where she was a villager, housewife with 2 children, and at a very younger age she was bitten by a snake and died out of snake bite. So at that point of time, I was open to investigate into this, but what is the evidence that it is a true past life? In this lifetime, my grandmother had a phobia for snakes, but after the session, her phobia was not there. We know from our childhood that she used to get scared whenever we speak about the snakes, but she could overcome that fear and phobia. Somehow, by accessing these visions, memories of the past life, she was completely okay with speaking about snake and even looking at any picture of the snake. So something happened in her. This is very first case study that I made way back in 1990. And very soon, I started conducting another experiment. One meditator who was coming to a center where we all together used to meditate, I told him about past life memory, and he was so interested. That I also conducted another session. He regressed back to a lifetime where he was in a different country. He was speaking a different language. We made him to write the alphabets of that language. We recorded the whole session. Later, language experts confirmed it's a Russian language. In a very deep trance, he was giving a speech to a group of people, like a kind of a motivational speech, like a political speech. Completely, the whole speech was recorded, and language experts confirmed it's completely a Russian language with a certain dialect. It's a kind of ancient dialect. So I reconducted the session on him later again to find out more details. He narrated about being born in Russia and how he was trained as a kind of political leader. He had political knowledge. He used to motivate people, inspire people. So for me, it is the first time I felt that reincarnation is true. There is a scientific evidence for that, because a person cannot speak the language without any formal training. We need a kind of training to speak a language. For example, I can not speak Hindi language, pardon me, but I can understand. When Dr. N.K. Sharma was introducing me a few minutes back, and he was speaking very fluently Hindi language, but I speak South Indian languages, few languages, but I could never speak Hindi language, but I understand. I know that I need to get trained in this language. It takes years, definitely. So friends, this is my first breakthrough experience that happened long back. So from that time onwards, I was a reincarnation researcher. Initially, I want to know whether such kinds of evidences we can find in other cases. I was so crazy. I was a medical student at the time and crazy about this spiritual science. Adhyatmika Shastra is the science of spirituality, the scientific spirituality. That means it's not based on some superstition. It's not based on some kind of theory. If the reincarnation is true, it is true. The science can find an evidence. It must be evidence-based. That's how, dear friends, I started actually believing, not believing, but is 100% faith, trust that reincarnation is true. Afterwards, at least 10 people I have come across so far who could speak different languages, foreign languages. This ability is called xenoglossia, speaking strange, unknown foreign languages, which they were not, exposed to. So this ability is found through past life regression. Many of them could speak, and some of them could give the verifiable data, like they're not able to speak the language, but they are able to narrate that I was born in this place, this is the 15th century that I belong to, this is the province, this is the place, this is what happened in my life, many significant memories, this is what happened to me in the death time, the last moments of that life. So many of these people could cross-check and do some kind of research through internet research, because to a certain extent, few centuries history is intact. It was kept intact. At least some people who visited immediate past birth, that means say 80 years, 100 years back, most of the data, information is very much still there. almost thousands of years back, it might have the change of names will be there. The place might be different. For example, Beijing is known as something else in the ancient China. So a different names and different kinds of architecture we may find in the ancient times. But the most beautiful evidence that we find, if it is the most recent past birth, recent previous birth. So dear friends, and the third evidence, one is xenoglossia, and the second evidence that scientifically we can look at is the proof that we can find through validation, validating the case study. Whatever the information that came up, it can be validated, like names, place, and the death, what kind of death happened, what are the significant memories which are matching with the ancient whatever the data that is stored, recorded. So this is the second evidence. And the third evidence that we can find is relief from these symptoms. Means somebody who had excruciating back pain. Long back, I conducted a session. He was completely exhausted because he went to all the doctors. He had the X-ray scan, and they said it's all your, problem in the mind. You are only, imagining that this is happening, and you are there's no problem with you. But he was suffering. A young person. When I regressed him, he went back to lifetime where he was a prince. He was trained in all kinds of arts, and the ministers in that kingdom, they were very jealous of this prince because he would be the king. And they had secondary motives. There's a different hidden agenda for them. So one time they backstabbed him. They betrayed him. They killed him in the battlefield. One minister came from behind and stabbed him. He died on the battlefield. And through the process, what is called as reliving happens. Re-experiencing the past life trauma occurs. This person was reliving that memory, and that pain was so intense. His body was almost convoluting. He was shaking on the ground, he was rolling on the ground. I allowed him because whatever the trauma, when we completely re-experience it, we'll be relieved from it. So this is what happened. After the session, the person was completely relieved from that pain, which he was suffering from more than 10 years. And friends, there's so many people with fears and phobias. They're inexplicable. Means we can't find out a reason in this life. For example, a strange fear about water. Even though the water is shallow water, the person fears a lot to enter into the water. Or a person may have fear of heights and illogical fear, or fear of, we can say, lizards, fear of darkness, fear of strangers, fear of speaking in front of people. All these irrational fears, inappropriate fears, even though we may counsel them, we may say there's no problem, you're safe, nobody is going to hurt you, still they can't overcome that fear. It becomes phobia. Such people, they could completely overcome those fears and phobias through past life regression sessions. And many chronic illnesses, some of the illnesses, medical science, they say we can't heal. It's not possible. Forever you have to be a victim of this medical condition. And they try everything, but they are completely hopeless about cure. I tell you a case study of a person who was a Muslim. He said, I'm a Muslim, I don't believe about reincarnation. My religion says only one religion, only one lifetime. We have only one incarnation. But I heard about past life regression. I have read a book about it, and I'm suffering from this particular symptom. My half part of my body is having this burning sensation. It's like as if I'm being burned on half side of my body. I'm feeling so depressed and so hopeless. Almost 15 years of suffering. I want to commit suicide. I told him, even though you don't believe about reincarnation, does not matter. You don't need to believe in it. But come with an open mind. Think that there are parallel lives, maybe another version of you living in a parallel universe. It's a quantum universe. Means there are many other probable universes exist. So you might be living somewhere else, other part of you. Think in that way. So he was willing, he participated in the session, and what he had seen is a kind of war setting, war scene. There was a bomb explosion, half part of his body was burning. He relived it after this session. He did not say anything to me. He said, okay, I got this vision. I feel there's no burning sensation in my body. He told me it could be my imagination. I told him it could be your imagination, but wait and watch. Wait for one more month. Report me back after 15 days, after 1 month, after few months later. Tell me what happens later. So he sent an email after 15 days that he was completely relieved, and asked him after 1 month also to check whether it is gone or truly gone or is a placebo. His mind is believing that it is not there. So after 1 month, the symptoms did not come. After maybe few years later also, he was in touch, now almost more than 20 years. Still, this symptom never has come back to him. So, dear friends, this is the third evidence, therapeutic, clinical. That means when we go to the root cause for some of the patterns, some of the problems that we encounter in this life, we really process that particular root cause memory, then the problem is eliminated from the roots. Past is already gone, it's already over, but the past, still we are clinging to the past through our subconscious mind. Somewhere we are not able to let go because the trauma, because of some conditions, some cases where we are not able to forgive. In certain instances where people felt it's a kind of injustice and they're still clinging to it, they want to take a revenge. So, dear friends, this is the third important evidence. So, since last almost 29 years, myself and my wife, Dr. Lakshmi, we have been practicing this art and science of past life regression therapy. Though we are medical doctors, I know that more than body medicine, treating this physical body with some kind of medication, we have looked at a deeper healing process. We know that the mind need to be healed, the emotions need to be healed, our energies need to be healed, our subtle bodies which carries this information from past lives need to be healed. Then only true healing comes out, true healing happens. True healing comes from within. This is what we have experienced, we have observed almost thousands and thousands of people. So we are very passionate about this work because this takes people to closer to their consciousness or the soul. I know that it is a giant step it offers to every spiritual seeker to take a leap in their consciousness for their own self-realization. Because once we know that we are not people who have only one lifetime, we have multiple lives, and the death is not the end of the life. After death, life continues. Before birth, there is life was there. So life is never going to end. So dear friends, after I completed my medical graduation in 93, that point of time, I told my wife, Dr. Lakshmi, that I feel my heart is in this path, past life regression. And my mind, my heart is not willing to work as a medical doctor, though I'm trained as a doctor. She said, yes, this is what we need to do. This brings holistic healing. This can heal people at all levels. So last 29 years, we have been doing this work, and we encountered so many beautiful experiences, dear friends. And there are 6 categories of people who really require, who need past life regression. I tell you shortly why we need to be regressed into a past life. Nature has designed that we should not remember past lives in such a way that there is a veil of forgetfulness that comes to us the moment we are stepping into the mother's womb. We forget about who you are, who you were in the past lives. You don't know about yourself, you forget. We don't have any memory. But your conscious mind is not remembering, but your subconscious mind stores every information. Your subconscious mind is connected to your astral body, your causal body, your even pranamaya kosha, your etheric body. Subtle bodies are connected with subconscious mind. So our subconscious mind, when it opens up, it's like Pandora's box which is opening up. That's why those who are spiritual seekers, they are the people who are ready to explore past life memories. But a person who is not yet reached to a maturity, they can't integrate these experiences properly. Past life regression experiences can be disastrous if they attempt out of just idle curiosity. Oh, I want to see my past life because everyone is seeing past lives. We don't need to. But if you are a meditator, if you are a spiritual seeker, definitely you raised your consciousness levels, you awakened your own higher intellect, then you can integrate. Because sometimes if we come to know that in the past life, your father is your enemy. He was the enemy king, you are the opposite side, the king. You had a war and you are captivated, you are harmed by the enemy king. Now you both have come back again into this life, father and son. There is a karmic relationship. In this lifetime, you have this strange repulsion towards your father. It's inexplicable. You don't know why you get angry with your father. You get triggered out of everything. Whatever your father says, you do opposite. Because it's the old story which is not yet ended. So, if we see that past life, those who are not a spiritual seeker, suddenly they are acting out of idle curiosity. They cannot integrate this experience. It may worsen the relationship. But if you find the right expert who has gained knowledge, wisdom about the science and art of past life regression therapy, Once they're able to access the past life memory, the facilitator, the expert, make you integrate that experience properly. Many of these experiences which are not integrated properly, it can harm people. So dear friends, that's why those who are ready through spiritual discipline or a practice you're doing, is seeking you're doing in spirituality, then you are the right candidate for past life regression. And also you can attempt on your own. In your meditation, you access past life memories. This is what I highly recommend. First, we need to try on our own. I had accessed my past life memories through meditation practice. If we are sincere to our practice, we'll be able to do that. Buddha, he reported his experiences of past life memories, 646 past lives. He called them as Jataka tales, is nothing but past life memories. Patanjali Maharshi mentioned about Prati Prasava Yoga Sutra, which means past life regression. He told through that sutra, Prasava means birth, Prati means before birth or even much before birth, in the previous birth. In that sutra, he mentioned that once you go to the cause, whatever symptoms that we are experiencing now, the cause and effect phenomena, they brought together, there's a neutralization. Cause and effect is neutralized. Karma is neutralized. This is what Yoga Sutra, Patanjali Maharshi, through this sutra told. So dear friends, on our own, through sincere practice of meditation, one can access. But it's really difficult. Not everyone is successful in that. I can tell you that. If there are 100 meditators, only maybe 5 meditators, 5% of meditators can access past life memories. Because nobody wants to remember past. They have strong defense mechanism. They have strong protection mechanisms in the subconscious mind. It's closed. But they have some issues. For example, they have 6 kinds of issues that I can say which really get benefited through past life regression. Number 1 is chronic illnesses. If you are suffering from chronic illnesses, there you find no really cure through any kind of therapies. Nothing is really helping out. Know that it is karmic life. Know that it is karmic illness. There is something in the previous lifetime that you need to learn a lesson from. There is something that you need to let go from the past. So that illness is one reason why people want to go through past life regression, because it is therapeutic. Whether somebody is believing or not, still I have found that it is affecting people positively. And the second, people who have fears and phobias. As a human being, we have so many fears which are stemming from this current life itself. Maybe your inferiority complexion, fear of being inadequate, fear that I am inferior, fear that I am not safe, maybe stemming from this current life past. When you're a child, you have gone through some tough memories. There are traumatic memories that you went through in the childhood where you felt unsafe. Or else in the classroom you are punished by the teacher. So as a result, you had this thought that I'm inferior, I'm not good enough. So, but some of these fears are much ancient fears which we carry. We don't find any reason in this current life. For example, the fear of fire. Fear of fire. Even a matchstick, lighting a matchstick also, some people, they get a kind of panic attack, a fearful reaction in them without any kind of reason. Even though they are adults, they're grown-ups, still they fear a lot. Why? They will not find any reason in this life. In this current life, there is no such incident that happened. So when we go to past life, the root cause, we find the answer there. It is stemming from a past life. People get cured, healed, when they go to the root cause. So in the past life, regression, this is the second important reason why we need to go through regression process. And the third important reason is relationship problems. There are many patterns which are repetitive in nature. You find many patterns like escapism. There are people who don't take responsibilities of their families. They run away from family responsibilities. This one pattern. The wife complains about the husband. My husband never takes responsibility. Or somebody who is fearing to take responsibility. It's a pattern. It is affecting the relationship dynamics. And the second pattern that we find is abandonment pattern. Though people are not really abandoned, the very loving parents, loving family, loving wife, loving husband, loving children, everyone is there, but still they feel abandoned. The wound is deep. It's coming from past lives. Abandonment pattern. The third pattern is victim pattern. You feel helpless and powerless and like a victim. You feel so low, so much like a victim in this life, victim of circumstances, situations, people. The origins are in the past life. It is highly transformative. The victimhood can end once we track the root cause and reframe the memory, integrate the memory, then it is gone. The victim pattern is gone. Otherwise, I have met many people who are suffering with victimhood. They always find blaming. They blame others. They always judge others. They scold, they project their emotions on others. Oh, you are the cause for my problem. Because of you, my life is unhappy. They always victimize. They feel like a victim. They have always like so many complaints to make from morning to evening. But I found people who could completely transform this pattern. This is also another relationship pattern, friends. And the fourth pattern is betrayal pattern. In this lifetime, there's no such betrayals that happened, but still you find this kind of suspicion in the background. I will be backstabbed. I should not trust. You have mistrust. You don't trust anyone in this life. That's why you don't have any intimate relationships with others. You don't allow people to come closer to you, because you were betrayed in the past life. And you always carry in the background a suspicion that I will be betrayed in my business, in my relationships, and I'll be deceived by people. And of course, many people, they find this kind of things, small incidents that happen where you feel betrayed in this current life as well. But it's not the cause. The cause is there in the past lives. And the last pattern, the fifth pattern we can say, is a person who becomes rigid pattern. A rigid personality is formed, means without emotions. They don't emote, they don't have feelings. They are always like speaking from the mind, logical. They don't open their hearts because in the past lives, there's a great emotional shock that happened. There's a wound that shut down, the wound that has really shaken them, so they shut down their heart center. They don't emote, they become rigid, cold, and insensitive, robotic in this life. This is also another pattern that many relationships we find. This wife and husband, we find that spouse relationships is very interesting. Many of them, they have karmic relation, means they are coming across many lifetimes, and they have come back again to share their togetherness, to heal whatever is unhealed, to resolve what is unresolved, to finish something unfinished in the past. That's why you find relationships is another important area where people, they experience greatest triggers, greatest suffering. So in this area also, past life regression therapy can help, dear friends. So this is the third benefit. People who are suffering from relationship issues. The fourth one, some certain kinds of emotional states you go into, certain emotions, sudden depression that you go through, sadness you're carrying, heavy heart. You don't know the reason. There's nothing that happened. You had a good childhood. Your parents are very loving. There's nothing that you're lacking in. You have a good job, you have good marriage, good salary, everything is there. But still, you find a deep sadness in your soul. Or some, they have rage in them, rage. They don't know reason why they get this anger bouts. They become so angry. I tell you a case study of a woman. She always fearful about her marriage. She always never to allow any, she never allowed any man to come closer to her in this lifetime. But her parents were very worried about her marriage because they want her to be married. Otherwise, she will be lonely. The parents are going to vacate the bodies. They're already middle-aged. So when she gone through the regression process, we attempted the regression, the past life session. She visited a past life. In this current life, there's nothing, no trauma that existed. But in the past life, she was a young woman who was sexually molested. Her boundaries are violated. And in the death moments, it's so much pain, so much unsafe feeling, frozen with fear and anger towards men. The group of men who raped this woman in the past life, she carried that unsafe feeling, hatred towards men, anger towards men, and also she feels that marriage, she cannot go for marriage. So she's carrying this wound from the past life. So these emotions, we don't find the origin in this life. Many people, they try to calm themselves through meditation, but still they get angry, they get sad, they get fearful, they get these emotional bouts. So this is another reason. Certain emotional states that we experience, emotional healing, people can go through. The sadness, jealousy, or it is any kind of emotion which you are not able to deal with. It's a very, very powerful therapeutic tool, dear friends. Go to the origins of it. Where did this begin? When did this begin? What is the cause of this? And the fifth important reason is, some people, not for the healing or not to remove certain symptoms, they are okay in this life, but they want to retrieve past life talents and skills. We are multi-talented. we are really multinationals, friends. Means many lifetimes, not only Bharat we incarnate. I have incarnations in Italy, Spain. I was in South America. I was in Egypt. And of course, many lifetimes, almost more than 100 lifetimes, it's always in the Eastern countries. I was in China, I was in Tibet. I was born here in India, at least say 50 times, more than 50 times. I'm always gravitated towards Bharat because I feel proud to be born here, to be an Indian, because Bharat has something very beautiful, friends. But we have been in other countries as well. And we have been having other talents as well. In this lifetime, you may not be a painter, but if you visit your past life, you may find yourself as a painter. After accessing the past life memory, being a painter, a musician, or a singer, a vocalist, a dancer, sculptor, or could be an administrator, or a third eye master, a clairvoyant, a spiritual skill you had, a healing skill. Maybe you're a healer in the past life. So what happens is, after retrieving this past life memory, you retrieve the old talent and skill. This is another beautiful benefit, friends. I tell you a case study of one lady who attended the workshop, past life regression workshop in Kolkata. And there was one particular session we conduct, which is part of the workshop. In that session, it is about retrieval of past life talents and skills. She visited a past life memory where she was a painter. She used to paint amazing things. And she used to be in the courtyard of a king. She used to be in that kingdom, and where the king used to always give a lot of gifts, prizes to her. And she was appreciated very well. But there were other people who were jealous. They could not, they felt that she's a competitor. And they poisoned her to death. In the death moment, she went through terrible moments like, oh, because of my talent, people became jealousy of my talent. Oh, it's better not to have talent. She disowned the talent. In this lifetime, she was having many opportunities to paint. As a child, she used to take the brush and create paintings, amazing paintings. But she never pursued it. Parents encouraged her to paint, but she never. But after looking at that past life, she could completely reframe the memory. She could understand that this is the past life story. Those are jealous people who troubled me, who made me to die, but I'm safe now. She could let go of the fear. She retrieved the talent. After that, the workshop was over. The very next day, she painted the great painting of Lord Krishna with the Vishwaroop completely. It's like from her third eye, she could access a kind of image of Lord Krishna, a kind of cosmic vision. She could paint it. It's like a masterpiece. I had never seen such a painting before. So, dear friends, this is the another benefit. Many of us, we carry past life talents and skills, but it is all dormant, it's hidden. There was a book long back I have read. This is called Psychic Discoveries Behind the Iron Curtain. It's authored by Sheila Ostrander. There was a co-author also. I don't remember the name of the co-author, but Sheila Ostrander is the main author. So in that book, she visited Russia. She was an American. She visited Russia to meet psychics there. She met so many psychics who had the ability to see into the future, who are psychokinetic, who could move the objects with the mind power. She started meeting them, and also she mentioned about an experiment Russians conducted in the school. This is called artificial reincarnation. This is something very, very interesting, dear friends. In this particular experiment, all the children were sent back to past lives where they were genius. Some of them musicians, some of the painters, dancers, philosophers, writers, scholars, astronomers, astrologers, spiritualists. So all these children could access and retrieve the talents and skills. They started excelling in the school. This is suddenly the intelligence of the child could be brought out through this process. Why they named it as artificial reincarnation project is, as Russians, they don't have belief about reincarnation, but they still experimented. They want to check. They called it as artificial reincarnation. Means it's a kind of, created reincarnation, but still it worked so well. People could really those students started progressing a lot. This is another important benefit, dear friends. Retrieval of positive talents and skills. So in this lifetime, my sadhana is very less compared to all the Himalayan masters who are doing hundreds, thousands of years sadhana, and very, very little meditation practice that I did. But I could retrieve so much of my practice of meditation that I did in the past lives. Healers are healers through many lifetimes. Spiritualists are spiritualists many lifetimes. Meditators reincarnate to pursue the same field, meditate again. So painters, singers, musicians, dancers, they also continue. They incarnate again to continue their skill, because it takes so many lifetimes to master one particular art. It's not one lifetime, dear friends. It takes many lifetimes to become a musician, to become a great painter, to become an enlightened being. It is not one lifetime, multiple lives, many lifetimes sadhana is there. So this is another wonderful benefit, I can say. And the sixth reason why people can find reason to go to past life memories is purpose of life. Each one of us is born with a soul plan. Atma Pranalika, we say it is the plan for this life. A broad, rough outline of this lifetime. Like when we are in the between life states, means between lives, two lives, there is a sandhi time. Sandhya time means middle time. In that interim period, the soul resides in higher dimensional planes. In those lokas, we call them lokas in Sanskrit. So in those worlds, there are guides, invisible masters, light beings, our soul group. We have an interaction with them. So our guides, they help us in preparing the soul plan. For example, today you all joined this Zoom session because you planned. Without plan, nobody joins. Anything that you do, you find that there is a plan behind everything. Even for this lifetime, there is a plan. You have chosen your parents, mother, father, your family, the country, the religion, and even circumstances, certain situations. We plan well in ahead. we may get this doubt. If everything we planned, it's like a destiny, I can't change anything. We plan a broad outline, not every single detail. For example, I may plan to go to one particular college, particular class. So if I'm studying 10th standard, I will go to a particular school. I will select, oh, this is the school where I can be educated very well. There are good teachers there. And I will be going into this particular class. I am going to be studying 10th class. But I will not plan where to sit in the 10th class. The first bench or second bench or last bench. Those minutest details, later we fill up the blanks after we incarnate. But friends, many times we don't stick to the soul plan because our free will operates. Many we deviate from the soul plan. That's why punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janane jatare sayanam. Iha samsare bahudustare krupaya pare pahi murare bhaja govindam bhaja govindam. Adi Shankaracharya, Jagadguru, he told in Bhaja Govindam that we do come back again and again, again and again, many times over and over again, because we are not aligned to our purpose for which we incarnated. We miss to fulfill our life purpose. We plan our soul lessons to learn. In that soul plan, there is a soul lesson, because our journey is many lifetimes journey. Only one single lifetime we cannot learn anything. In only one lifetime, what can we learn? Hardly we learn anything. The earth is considered as a school. In this school, there are several classes. Our goal is to come to the school of earth, learn the soul lessons. There are soul lessons like compassion, kindness, service. There are higher lessons. Respecting the time, unconditional love, and respecting the life, valuing the life, and all the patience, tolerance. All these things are called soul lessons. It takes multiple lives. And also realizing that you are the soul, you are not the body, you are not the mind, you are not your emotions, you are not the ego structure, you are the soul. That you need to realize while you are incarnated in a body. That is called Jivan Mukta state. That's called self-realization state. So we plan well in ahead before we come to take this incarnation cycle. So friends, this is the sixth important reason why many people, they want to go into past life memories, because they want to know their purpose. Why am I born? What is my purpose? Initially, it is very difficult to know our purpose, but initially we can create certain kinds of purposes and goals and targets, because we should not waste our time. But when you are ready through past life regression or through meditation, you discover your purpose, dear friends. So these are 6 important benefits, the reasons why someone wants to go into past life memories. They will be benefited, dear friends. The success rate of past life regression therapy is around 80%, not 100%. You may ask me why, if this is a science, because if it is scientific, why not it is working for everyone? Because each one has their own personality structure, how they respond to a memory which surfaced, how they process it, Some they can't integrate. Some they have fear of going into past, because still they are not yet ready to access past life memories. They need to initially do some kind of practice of meditation to raise their levels of energy and consciousness. Then they will be ready for past life regression. So 80% of people can comfortably, very easily, with the help of a facilitator who is trained, who is an expert, can guide you into a past life, to access the root cause memory, to process, to heal what is unhealed. We keep saying that there's an ancient saying that those people who don't learn from their past don't learn from the history repeats, past going to repeat itself. We are condemned to repeat the same past because we have not yet learned our lessons. Learning our lessons is so essential for everyone, dear friends. So past life regression therapy is enabling us to learn our lessons from our past. Once we learn our lessons from the past, we'll be able to completely let it go. We say goodbye to our past. That's why past life regression therapy, I call it as a process of letting go. It's just goodbye process. But before we say goodbye to our past, we can't easily say it. We may consciously think that, oh, now past is gone, I say goodbye. Gatam gataha. But it is not ending. The past is not over, because still your subconscious mind is clinging to the past, clinging to the fears, clinging to the anger, clinging to certain things that happened. That's why we step into those memories, access those memories, and we're going to process those memories. In past life regression therapy is a beautiful process where it is not just only seeing past lives as a movie. We first initially identify the root cause, then we learn about during the session how to disidentify from the memory, detach yourself from the memory, knowing that this is over, the past life is over. And the third stage is called transformation stage. We transform the past life memory into a certain understanding. This is how a past life memory is integrated totally, and there is a deep healing that happens. So, dear friends, those who learn lessons from the past, they move forward in life. That's why today we kept this title, Fast Forward in Your Life Through Past Life Regression. Regression process is for your progression. Many of people, they think that, oh, I want to move forward, they dream a lot. They become a good dreamers. They don't put everything into practice. And even though they put into practice, they find there's many stumbling blocks. They have a lot of fear energy coming into them. It stops them in their success. Success is the birthright of everyone. Whatever we take up, we can succeed in that. Why not everyone succeeds in their life? What is pulling them back? Once we understand, go look back, then we make a movement forward. We move forward. We progress in our lives. That's why many people get scared when they first time hear the word past life regression. Regression, why we need to regress? We want to progress. This is exactly the question asked by Shakuni. You know, one Mahabharata character, a great scripture, Mahabharata, there's so many characters. We can learn so much from this Mahabharata. So Lord Krishna, who is a Paramatma, he is an embodiment of all the Brahmagyan, wisdom of the soul, wisdom of the entire Srishti. He is a Paramatma. Shakuni knows about this Paramatma. One day, when there is no one, Shakuni asks Lord Krishna a question. Oh Krishna Paramatma, though I am on the Kauravas side, I am helping them. But I know you are the, Sthitikara, you are the one who is also the Trinity, one of the Trinities. And you are the Paramatma, you reach to highest levels. I want you to help me to look into my future. Please guide me to where I can see into my future. I want to look into my future lives. Lord Krishna says beautifully, there was a conversation, a dialogue that happens between Lord Krishna and Shakuni. This was recorded, dear friends. This scripture is still available in Afghanistan because most of the Indian scriptures were stolen from India. Many of our ancient scriptures from Bharat Desh were looted, were stolen, taken away by many other foreign countries, people, and they're still there, available. They translated, they try to understand what is written in that scripture. So it's now available in English. Though still I am not able to get the entire manual, entire scripture, but one of my friends who was a researcher, who was a journalist, he shared about this. And few of the slokas that I could get to know where the dialogue between Shakuni and Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna's answer was, he said to Shakuni, before you look into future, before you want to move forward in life, you have to at least see 7 of your past janmas, past births, because everyone carries baggage. There is a karmic baggage, sanchita karma, prarabdha karma, the baggage, not only karmic baggage, emotional baggage, fear baggage, burdens, all those things we are carrying on our shoulders, on our back. So this is what Lord Krishna told. At least 7 lifetimes you need to access. Clear and let go of that stuff, and then you can make a move forward. Till then it is not possible. That's what Lord Krishna told. This is a great scripture, dear friends. And our India, Bharat Desh, has so many scriptures talking about past life, importance of remembering past lives. If you look into Buddhist scriptures, some of them are available in Tibet. These Tibetan monks knew the technology of accessing past lives. Buddhist monks used to turn the memory backwards because there were some certain sutras which were delivered by Buddha. He encouraged disciples to go into past life memories so that they can clear whatever the stuff that they carried. They can heal. And even now, this knowledge was available in Tibet, and some of these Buddhist monasteries, they carry this knowledge. They sit in a cave for a few months where they meditate, they turn the memory backwards to access past life memories. And Jainism, Mahavira, Lord Mahavira, has given this knowledge about Jati Smaran. Jati Smaran is remembering past lives. There was a technology that's given, narrated in certain scriptures in Jainism. Jain scriptures has such a description, such research material that's available. Still, there's so much to decode and decipher from those ancient scriptures. Bharat Desh is full of wisdom, dear friends. And almost our yogis, Himalayan masters, they knew about this. Those who are ready for a spiritual seeker, they encourage them to look into their past so that they completely let go of the past and then they move forward from that time onwards. So this is the greatest knowledge that was offered from our ancient masters from Bharat Desh. At this point of time, around the globe, there is an interest, a kind of beautiful explosion of interest that occurred around the globe after Dr. Brian Weiss published his first book, Many Lives, Many Masters. Millions of people who were non-believers of reincarnation, they started, even just reading the book itself, people got healed. There was some kind of tranquility they have experienced. It's amazing. And there are millions around the globe who went through the past life regression process with many experts. There are now thousands and thousands in each country, past life regression experts who are trained experts who very actively offering the sessions, past life regression sessions. In America, in European countries, South America, China, Japan, Russia. So friends, it has become the universal knowledge because the science also started looking at that. Dr. Brian Weiss, being a psychiatrist who comes from a skeptical background, medical training, medical college, they don't give the knowledge about energy sign, energy body, about astral body, about the soul. That knowledge was never there in the anatomy, in the whatever the biochemistry, physiology that we are taught in the medical school. But Brian Weiss encountered these experiences accidentally when he was regressing. He was conducting age regression, but the client accessed past life memories. She was relieved. She was suffering from some fears and phobias and schizophrenia, bipolar conditions, and people were all right. That's how Brian Weiss became a believer. He conducted so many thousands and thousands of regressions. He reported all these, recorded these experiences, later published as books. And now around the globe, there are many experts, dear friends. I had an opportunity to meet so many of these past life regression experts around the globe. Dr. Lakshmi and myself, we were always learners. We are seekers. We always want to update our knowledge because we believe truly this science is growing science. It is still evolving. It is still expanding. We need to learn. We met so many of these pioneers in past life regression field. We exchanged our research notes. And they shared their wisdom. We shared from India, coming from our cultural background, what kind of past life experience we do get, and what is the, when we analyzed, it is similar kinds of things happened. So even the scientifically around the globe, many psychologists, transpersonal psychologists, medical doctors, who could also embrace it. They made that as a part of their conventional therapies. They're using it to heal the patients. So, dear friends, now the spirituality and science coming together, even the Western community, Western world is joining hands with Eastern world. Science and spirituality are combining now at this point of time. That's why we don't need to again reinvent the wheel. For example, if Thomas Alva Edison has invented the filament, we are able to light the bulbs now. Now we don't need to conduct again research and develop the filament. We take the formula and we prepare the bulb now. Now we know the whole world is now in the night time we can still work with all the lights. The same way, this past life regression therapy technology, the science of it is very, very, very refined knowledge, scientifically developed, and it's readily accessible. Whoever are sincere seekers, we can always access this knowledge. Myself, Dr. Lakshmi, through Quantum Life University, we have trained 2,000 past life regression experts in India and in certain other countries as well, who are actively helping others, conducting so many sessions. We have, population of 9 billion people, and we need so many regression therapists around the globe, because we all carrying, as a human race, we carry so much baggage. We need to learn our lessons. That's why it's the need of the hour, friends, to embrace this tool, past life regression, as a very powerful spiritual tool which can help us accelerate our evolution. We can progress a lot. After regression therapy is done, one can also go into the future time. This is called progression therapy. Progression therapy. Like how regression is working, there's a possibility to have access to progression of the memories, like future memories. There are so many scientists around the globe who did this kind of research. There was an expert in this, his name is Chuck B. Snow. We invited him to a conference that we keep organizing in India, Past Life Regression Conference. He was there in Pune. We organized it. He given this beautiful workshop. Chuck B. Snow, who is the author of the book Dreams of the Future, Mass Dreams of Future, where he was conducting on thousands of people progressions. He took people into future lifetimes. They could access future memories. So as a researcher, he conducted that. He could analyze the data. He could correlate the data. He found interesting things about the earth changes. Whatever right now we are going through, many things were well in ahead through progression sessions he has documented. So, dear friends, I know that now we can have some kind of interaction. I invite any kind of questions that Dr. Sharma ji. Yeah, please, sir, please.
Thank you very much, Dr. Newton. It was such a fascinating and so exciting, and even I could not blink my eyes when you were talking to every audience, and it was really very much eye-opening. And I thank you very much that today we have legend like you in our India, and you are a really Ratna for our Bharat. You are a Bharat Ratna for us, actually, basically, because you have got so much and you have created so many past life therapies. So I have already, people have asked me so many questions. So I told that in the evening, Dr. Newton, I will ask Dr. Newton to answer. So some of the questions people ask me about that, how comes so much population actually is coming from, where it is coming?
Okay. The population is always multiplying on planet Earth. This question comes to us: where are these people coming? Are there new souls that are entering into the creation they have created, and they are now entering into a new cycle on the planet Earth? Yes. The creation process is always happens, it's ever continuing. For example, those who evolve, they complete the graduation, post-graduation, PhD, and on the planet Earth, spiritual PhDs. They also did their dharma, their purpose of life, to teach. They are spiritual teachers, they are spiritual masters who imparted the wisdom to others, they now don't need to reincarnate. They go into what is called as Purnatma state. Purnatma is oversoul or higher self. They are no more under selves, like a seed, banyan seed, becoming big and gives rise to a big banyan tree. Big banyan tree again produces many prop roots. Even every prop root can become potentially another banyan tree. Every seed can become a banyan tree. That's why we also spiritually evolving across lifetimes, approximately around 600 lifetimes to 800 lifetimes as human being. Some may do it within 200 cycles. It all depends on our free will. Some who are good, they complete it very quickly. So those Purnatmas who are now in a higher state, they create many Amshatma Srishti. They also create new tentacles. They give offshoots. So those new souls, they will be incarnating. So Earth is not the only planet where there is life forms. In the regression therapy, many, they have experienced lifetimes in other galaxies also. There are other galactic systems where there is life, not only planet Earth. That's why we always, Earth is a beautiful school. They do come back. Many of them, they really, it's a very challenging and interesting experience they go through on the planet Earth. It's a very important school.
Is it accepted anywhere in nowadays in modern medicine as a treatment part? Is it accepted now?
Not yet, Dr. Sharma. It is not yet accepted as a part of the medical system, but it is conducted under transpersonal psychology, hypnotherapy. Hypnotherapy is accepted medically, but hypnotherapist who is also trained as a past life regression therapy, they use this tool, past life regression.
I see.
But still medical community is still not
Very
accepted
far.
it.
Very far.
Very far.
Yeah. See, what do you difference find that some people normally they prescribe the old scripture like Garud Purana. So do you find whatever has been said in Garud Purana and whatever today we are experiencing on our practices, do you find that it is all matching, almost matching, or there is some differences?
It's matching, sir. It's matching. For example, in Garuda Purana, many get scared because of the punishments and the hell experience, Narakaloka, that they experience after death. But it's for those beginner souls. That scripture was written as a kind of guidance system for life after death, when we do some kind of negative acts, negative karma when we accumulate, our soul, once we leave the body, will be pulled into that kind of dimension. It's called as lower astral plane hell. So it's matching, but there are, middle advanced and very advanced beings for spiritual sadhaks. They will gravitate to higher astral realms after death. So
some souls take very long time to reincarnate again, as also Osho had taken birth after 700 years, something like that. Means I don't know exactly, right. But what do they do there, and why do they remain there for such a long time? Actually,
yes, Dr. Sharma. Because many souls, they don't reincarnate quickly because they wait for the right circumstances, right womb also they choose. For example, great advanced souls, they know the right time, in a hurry to reincarnate purpose. They have a, for example, those who are right now on planet Earth are lucky ones.
Yeah.
So yes.
So you have written a lot of books also, Dr. Newton, which is very popular. Can you mention your books, please?
Yes, the first book that was written by me is Consciousness Heals. It's about the healing, self-healing, how our own consciousness can heal us. And after that, The Science of Past Life is the second one. And it was translated in multiple languages.
Some it was some of the Buddhists say that Buddha did not believe in soul, actually soul. So, but as you said that the in his own past life, so many past lives. So this kind of philosophy that there is no soul or something.
Yes, Sharmaji. What happened is there's so much of understanding what Buddha was really teaching. There is no soul. He was talking about anatta means no soul. He was talking about no. As we advance in our soul levels and consciousness levels, there's no individual soul. We become collective. He was talking about that. Once we reach to anatta state, no separate soul state, we don't need to reincarnate. Rebirth is not there. I was talking that sense, in that kind of perspective, but many of the people, they misunderstand. That means whatever Buddha spoken, it could be from one point of view that there's no soul, that's why there's no rebirth. But the other point of view is Buddha talked about the soul, his soul experiences. Many of them is still available in the ancient scriptures, Buddhist scriptures.
That soul replicates also means the same soul can reincarnate in two different forms. Actually, it happens like this. Soul can make a division also, something like that.
Everything is possible, sir, in this universe. I truly believe, because spirituality is something like always, all the impossible things are possible in spirituality. Even this soul splitting, we call them one soul incarnating in two different bodies.
I see.
Yeah, I have come across few case studies of them.
Achha.
Yeah, so they're called generally twin souls.
No, because I have gone through the one book, Born Again.
Born Again, yes.
Yeah, in that book, actually, some Danjit Bhutto and Jawaharlal Nehru, they are all different souls. So within means they are all nearby souls, basically. So therefore, it was a doubt for me also. So now I invite the questions from my audience. Please, आप मैं अभी audience से चाहूँगा कि अगर उनके पूर्व जन्म संबंधी डॉक्टर न्यूटन से कोई क्वेश्चन करना है, तो प्लीज आप लोग जरूर पुट अप करें।
आप लोगों को, हाँ जी, आप लोगों को रेज योर हैंड यूज करना है। परवेश जी, प्लीज अपना माइक अनम्यूट कीजिए और क्वेश्चन पूछिए।
हेलो,
यस,
good evening all of you. I want to ask one question that we heard about the guide souls, guide angels. So some are good and some are bad. So how can we differentiate that?
Okay, Parvesh ji, namaskar. When there is good, there is also bad. When there is positive, there is negative also exists. Positive are the good ones, the guides who are really very advanced ones, very matured guides. They always empower people. The messages that we receive from them, the guidance that we receive from them is always about love, compassion, and they always help us, elevate us. Whereas the negative guides are those who are immature. They're still not yet evolved. Sometimes they can misguide. Those guides we can make out from their messages. For example, Ravanashur has come in the disguise of a great saint to, take the Sita Mata to Lanka. He came as in disguise, but Sita Mata could make out who is this fellow very soon. In the same way, a meditator, a kind of person who is practicing a spiritual path of awareness, they can make out through vibration. If our intent is very pure, we only attract the right guides. We need to raise our own vibrational levels. That's why we don't attract the negative kinds of guides or those beings who are harmful, who delays our progress. Thank you.
Okay. One more question. Some people, especially musicians, use some special gestures or some special shapes, just like triangle, to get wealth and fame soon. So, what is the logic behind it?
Okay, certain musicians, maybe that's the way that they can raise their vibrational levels. Certain belief systems here operate. Some they, for example, there's some yantra they use, certain kinds of shapes they use. They say that if I keep this yantra with me, this ring with me, this stone with me, this rudrakshmala with me, I can become an excellent being. And if I visualize, if I do this, and they are dependent on something outside. But later on, musicians, they don't even require any outside dependency things. They know that everything exists in their consciousness, in their soul. So a musician also is a meditator, a spiritual sadhak. They will completely give the best otherworldly music. It will be the best music that never existed on earth can be created by them. So that is what is the science behind it, Parveshji.
No, that is okay. But when we see the history, then those people who use these kind of symbols, they can get wealth and fame easily. But after some time, they suffer a lot.
Okay, because
just like Michael Jackson and Honey Singh.
Okay, sometimes there are certain laws of universe. We can't misuse for selfish gains the siddhis, the powers that we have. It cannot be, after reaching to a certain level, you cannot misuse them. For example, if we keep to become name and to rich and famous and money, it will be a stumbling block for a sadhak, a spiritual seeker. So that's why many of them, they need to even become aware. That's why there's a downfall that occurs with that.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
नेक्स्ट
गुरु माँ भी हमारे साथ जुड़ी हुई है, सविता शर्मा जी। मैम अनम्यूट कीजिए माइक।
डॉक्टर सविता इज आल्सो
Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, wonderful, yeah. Savita madam.
Hello, hello, Newton. How are you?
Wonderful, Savita madam. Wonderful, wonderful. It's
how's our Lakshmi?
Lakshmi is fine. She's very good, very good.
Do you remember us?
Oh, we remember very well. we almost have many years. We were in
many years.
Yeah,
many
in your
years.
home. We used to stay in your home.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
remember how you used to take care of us. Thank you.
Your speech was excellent.
Thank you.
And it was very, very knowledgeable.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
We want you to give this knowledge time to time to the people. It's excellent, excellent.
Wonderful.
God bless. God bless.
Thank
you.
you.
God
Thank
bless
you so much. Thank you.
Give my love to Lakshmi.
Sure, sure. I'll convey to.
To everybody.
Ask first one question, second one, one by one.
Okay, I'll pose all 4 questions. You give priority to whichever you feel is the most appropriate question.
You select one of them, ma'am, which is important for you.
Sir, all of them are so connected because I'm so getting so inspired, and that's why I bulleted all 4 questions. So you take, I give you the discretion to decide, because you become an inspiration to us being there. I'm so thankful to Sharma sir that bringing us this platform to ask you all these questions, sir. Sir, I somehow I've been meditating for quite a lot of time, and I envision places, situations, and people in life who I've not met. And they happen, I encounter such situations usually post 2 o'clock, 3, 2 o'clock, and unable to figure out when I get up, it gets little the dream which the people who come, the places I've visited, somehow those things have got some connection. I'm unable to express that. How do I get connected to those situations which have not ever been? Has it been from past lives?
Most of the visions that we access or the dreams that we access are past life related. And some of the visions are connected with their precognitive. For example, you get a dream and about a person meeting you, and you encounter that person after a few days. The same dream, whatever literally you have seen, it happens in your daily life. That's the precognitive nature. But most of our dreams, past life related. That's why those visions, snapshots, they come to us when we are meditating or when we are dreaming. In the Swapna Avastha, the first thing that happens is subconscious mind, whatever the memories that are stored, that comes up one by one, one by one.
Right.
Yeah.
Just very small questions. Now, the Brahm Muhurat, they say usually I get up and meditate at 4 o'clock. So, what is it, the 3:40 or the 4 o'clock which we consider as the Brahm Muhurat?
Brahma Muhurta is from 3 onwards, because that time when our pineal gland is fully active. Our neuroscientists also done certain kinds of research experiments. They found out that fresh in the morning, early hours in the morning, we can say that from 3 or 4 does not matter, but those 3 hours of time is so precious, because this third eye, the place where we get this kind of beautiful visions, it's connected to this pineal gland, which is activated in every person. So particularly those who are experiencing well-beingness, those who are meditating, it is always very active. So Brahma Muhurta is
right. Yeah, is it right to meditate? Meditation is always a part of it, because you really yearn to get up and want to unite with the conscious at that point of time. So then at that point of time, yoga should also be incorporated, which I am already doing. And then how about reading some scriptures also? Because the time span is so short. How can we accommodate all three? Because your journey at that time is so pristine.
Right. So your quality of consciousness, that matters. If you are focused, even 1 hour svadhyaya that you do in the Brahma Muhurta time, that's equivalent to almost like days. Swami Vivekananda used to complete almost 800 pages book in 3 hours time. Just 3 hours he used to complete. Anyone asks any question, any paragraph, he used to answer anything. So that means a focused mind. With your practice of meditation, focused mind, if you develop, you can read any scripture, you will grasp the entire essence of that scripture. For example, long back I read Bhagavad Gita. I could not understand. I forgotten everything. Nothing was registered in my mind. But after my meditation practice, I started reading Bhagavad Gita with focused mind, with full concentration. What happened is the whole essence of Bhagavad Gita I could understand completely. Because as your vibrational levels increases with your meditation practice, your svadhyaya, whatever books that you read, it will be internalized. You can completely understand the scriptures, like ancient scriptures like Upanishads. Upanishad Gyan is called Brahma Gyan. Completely it is about supreme knowledge that's presented in Upanishads. Bhagavad Gita, this is called Panchama Veda. Bhagavad Gita is one of the Panchama Vedas, one of the Vedas, and it's so precious. We can really read it in that way. So many things can be done by cultivating your focused mind. And focused mind can be cultivated through sincere practice of meditation. I highly advise, recommend 40 days meditation. Every day 1 hour you can devote for yourself. 1 hour you can take out, but be sincere in that 40 days. Every day 1 hour, without any fail, you must meditate. And within 40 days time, you can develop certain skills like focus. You can focus very well. Your mind is not distracted. Even that time, 1 hour of time is equivalent to 8-10 hours of time. that becomes the equation.
Good.
Amen?
Wonderful.
Yes.
Next question.
Renu ji, please unmute your mic, ma'am. You can ask your question. Manohar ji, you can also unmute. आप अपना mic unmute कर सकते हैं, अपना question पूछिए. हाँ जी सर, थोड़ा सा माइक के पास आके बोलिए. हाँ जी सर.
Yes, ma'am. Renu ji, please, you can ask question.
हाँ रेणु जी, अब आवाज आ रही है आपके पास?
नहीं, वो मेरी आवाज थी. मनोहर जी की आ रही थी, बट उनकी दूर से आ रही है. दीप्ति जी, आप प्लीज पूछिए क्वेश्चन.
Yes, sure. Thanks, Regression Foundation and Nathan sir for this awesome session. I have a simple question. Like, we are talking about past life regression, which is you have shared so many examples like how and when we should do it. So my question is really, should we go for future life regression as well? If yes, then in which conditions? And have you seen any example in your life where people went to the future life and whatever they have to actually?
Yes, I'll answer to your question. There are many people who were progressed to the future lifetimes, and which was also certain cases where there was a validation. So this is this is called FLP. FLP is future life progression therapy. Just like how regression therapy is happening, even progression into the future probable possible memories, it also affects the current moment positively. One person had seen several significant future memories. Though it is not yet, there can be called as highly possible probable memories of the future. So he accessed them, and to the point that after 5 years, after 10 years, after 30 years, after the last day of this current life, he had seen all the details, and he visited a future lifetime, the next birth, that he is going to incarnate in Austria. So he was narrating about being a monk kind of person. He was spreading spirituality at the time. So after the session, he was asking me whether these all like cooking up the story, and I told him, just look for any kind of impact that these memories made on you by just going through this kind of experience, because it must have some impact. Certain kinds of effects will be there. So he narrated after a few days later, said that when he could see the future 5 years later, certain things that's going to happen, it guided him to make a choice, because what he had seen is there's a possibility that whatever that he's doing, a business which is going to collapse, and he had seen well in ahead, highly probable event. Then he decided to make a different choice, because he knew that if he goes this way, he will meet that possibility of failure in that particular business. It's not a right choice. He had changed his choice of doing another business. And the last day of his life, where he felt a very deep emotional moments when his wife, children are surrounding him, and he felt so touched. And that moment, he felt that I need to be there for my family. Quality time I must spend, because he is so much busy in his business. He never used to spend much time with children and wife. After that, he used to really spend a lot of good quality time with the family. He reported these experiences. There are positive benefits out of future life progression.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Next question.
कर्नल नितिन जी, आप प्लीज अपना सवाल पूछिए. You can ask your question, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Dr. Sharma, Dr. Newton, Namaskar.
Namaskar.
My question is, I have had some very fine friends, very, very fine human beings. But unfortunately, all the fantastic people I've known, they died very young in life. So I have always asked myself this question: is it possible that these souls had only come onto the taken birth to complete a particular period on earth, after which they go back to a higher realm?
Yes, Colonel Nitinji, and the 5 very close to you, very fine human beings who left the bodies at a very younger age. Definitely, they're fine human beings. You're saying that they must be very advanced souls. They completed their life purpose, a mission, whatever the purpose for which they incarnated. So we can take examples from the lives of Adi Shankaracharya and also Swami Vivekananda at a very younger age. Even Paramahamsa Yogananda ji, they because of their presence, planet Earth, they could transform the vibration state of the planet Earth, and they completed the mission for which they incarnated. 33 years age, Adi Shankaracharya has given all the Upanishads, finest master that we can find, and also with Swami Vivekananda. So those who complete their whatever the purpose, they have chosen certain things and they completed it, and then they done a single moment. We are staying on the planet Earth. There is still our purpose is not yet complete. What you asked is very correct, and what you also said is correct. Did they complete their purpose? Yes, they completed whatever they chosen to complete. That's why they left to the higher realms.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Vatan ji, you can ask your question.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Yeah. Sir, I want to know if I have already known my past life name suddenly. So I told my family, so they are not agreeing with. They think that I am psychological. I have psychological problem.
Okay.
So, sir, can you tell me? Will you be able to tell me my past life name in past life regression session?
You can access, ma'am. You can access where you can visit that past life, and this time not only name, but look at that entire lifetime, entire story of that life, and the past also we can learn a lot. Why you remember the name and why you are showing interest is there's something that you can learn from that past life. And after that you have to say goodbye to the past, because past is, we have to say goodbye to the past. We should not carry the past. Our goal is to move forward in life. That's why initially we need to look back into the past to find out certain answers. Then we have to just say dissolve the past, completely let it go. You can go through the past life regression. So you can take a session from an expert, whoever are really good, you resonate with them, and you can go through the past life session. It will help you a lot. Okay.
And sir,
Yeah.
hello?
Hello, please tell me. You can go ahead.
Hello. There is some technical. Kiran Arya is also with us. You can ask the question.
हाँ किरण आर्य, बोलो.
Shivangi ji, you can also ask your question. Please unmute your mic, ma'am.
Namaste Guruji, Guruma and Newton sir. Sir, I have done a past life session with Sharma ji, my guru, and I saw myself drowning as a teenage kid, very early age, and I have a great phobia of water. Like I cannot. I've learned how to swim as a kid, but I can't swim. You know, when I go in the pool, I can't swim. I start getting panic attacks. And even after seeing myself in the past life session, I still can't get over that phobia.
Okay.
So, okay, that's one thing. And there are few other problems which I could not discover. I saw 2 past lives in my session, but there are few problems which I could not discover. So would you suggest doing other sessions where I can completely decode what is, why, what is happening and why it is happening?
Yes, Shivangi ji, you can attempt again one more session from Sharma ji. In that session, you revisit that same past life where you drowned in the waters, but this time in slow motion. Explore every single memory of that life in the last moments when you're drowning, because sometimes the fear that is frozen in us is so deeply embedded in us. Unless we relive it fully and then dissociate from that experience, detach, disidentify from that experience, we can't really let go of that phobia. So you can again go through that. This time you can integrate better. Sharmaji is a wonderful master who can help you in this.
I also want to ask sir that how many times I should do this, like a past life regression session. Do you suggest like if I do the multiple session, will I discover something more every time that I go through the session?
Yes, I suggest that first work one by one. No hurry in opening many past life memories, but first, whatever that drowning episode that you mentioned, you can heal that memory first.
Because I saw my 2 past lives.
Okay.
In the session, I saw my 2 past lives. And the one where I'm drowning, it was very quick and sudden. The one I saw in detail, I did not get my answers from there. But later I came home, I googled the place which I saw, and it actually exists in Maharashtra, and I had no idea about it. The place, that a very small village kind of place. So it gives me a sense that whatever I saw, it is true. So, but then the drowning session, I could not like get like a full thing, and it was like very quick.
Yes.
And I'm kind of little scared to go there again.
Okay. Can you just tell me a little bit details about that drowning episode of the past life? How old were you at that time when you were drowning?
Probably 11 or 12. Boy.
A boy.
11 or 12-year-old boy. I am drowning. I see a lot of snakes around me in the water, and I see crocodiles also.
Okay.
I'm drowning, and I remember asking for help, and I cannot see anyone around.
Right.
Like, and in this life also I have issues with, I cannot ask for help.
Right. Generally, early deaths like a child dying in traumatic manner, like a drowning episode which you mentioned, generally that kind of traumas, they require 1 or 2 more sessions, because the child wounds of a child, emotional wounds are so deep rooted. For example, here it's not only just drowning, fear of drowning, is also no help, no support, helplessness. The child who was looking at around and there's no help, could not ask for any help. No help was accessible in that moment, and there were snakes in that place where the water is. So definitely you need a session. You can heal that completely. Rest assured that it will help you. Mainly about the inner child. The inner child of the past life need a lot of emotional healing that's required. Definitely it will be healed. You please go ahead with another session.
I can say something, Newton.
Yes, Shavitaji.
these kind of people, they need a personal past life.
Not a group, not a group
Yes.
session. So one-on-one session is required.
Yes.
Yes. More of individual one-on-one session. It will be much better way. It will be integrated and healing happens.
Because in group past life, he can't take
correct.
many lives.
Exactly.
He can't use that kind of problem.
Correct.
Okay, next.
Ashutosh Joshi.
Yeah, good evening, Dr. Newton. Sir, on a Sunday evening, last 2 hours spent, I mean, I'm so much obliged to you, sir. कितना आपने कुछ बताया यहाँ पे. And pranam to Guruji and Guruma. I'm from Delhi, and 8 months back, Dr. Sharma से मैंने ये past life किया था. I'll just share a quick experience what I had. Now, what I had in this life as an experience is that I can't sleep just below the fan, and I have a small hole kind of in my chest, and I just when I went to a past life, which Guruji ने मेरे को लेके गए थे, and what happened was, in the cause of the death was the falling of the fan. I mean, an old type of, not a ceiling fan, but old fan. It fell directly on my chest. So in this life, I was not able to sleep directly in the ceiling fan. This is a phobia I had developed. And in the last 2 past life also, I was a school teacher teaching 15, 16, 17 years old kids. I mean, and this life, I'm an engineer working for a consultancy company, but somehow or the other, I'm always associated to giving some kind of tuition to these kind of people, the 9, 10, 11, 12 students. I was wondering why the answer came to this past life. And when Guruji took us to the future life, 100 years later on, even later on, again, I was so, my question to you is, you mentioned the case of the Kolkata lady, where she went to the past life and she was able to assess the hidden talent of painting, and she brought up over here. My request is, if you can just share us, if we do self-meditation, is it possible to go back to the past life and bring out such kind of hidden talent which we had in abundance over there in this past life, please? Thank you, sir.
Ashutosh ji, I appreciate for you sharing your experience of healing that happened, the sleepless nights under the fan, and this been so many case studies around the globe. There's a birthmark always. There's a trauma that occurs in the past life. There is a birthmark on the body. In certain parts of the body, we still, in this incarnation, like you mentioned about in the chest, there is a kind of hole. There's a kind of notch. There's a kind of a pit kind of thing. So when you seen that, there's a tremendous healing that occurred, and you could get over that phobia and fear. And also a talent and skill which you had, where you are teaching the students, and you carried the same kind of interest to always to impart some kind of knowledge to younger generation. Definitely through meditation, the hidden talents can be awakened, because we carry so many talents. The subconscious mind stores all the information. You can please continue your meditation sadhana. Through that, you can definitely awaken that. Thank you.
Next question.
Siddharth Bharadwaj ji.
Good evening, ma'am and sir. Good evening, Dr. Newton. This is Siddharth Bharadwaj. Dr. Newton, I want to ask you one question. That in my meditation sadhana, I got into my past life, and I got into 11 past life of mine, in which I saw myself as a shamanic healer, into a monk, into an animal also. And when I came back, it was so disturbing for me that it took me several months to get over it. So is it the right experience which happens? Because the interpretation is very difficult for me. That how was it and how did it happen by my own? I did by my own. There was no meditator along with me. There was no healer along with me. Can you elaborate on this, sir, please?
Yes, Siddharth Bharadwaj ji, it's wonderful that experience that you shared. 11 lifetimes that you accessed in meditation, and it's very intense. I think all the lifetimes information that surfaced, it took several months for you to integrate. I think parallelly your psyche, your subconscious mind and conscious mind is trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together. It took almost few months for you. It happens for many people in meditation. But only thing is, our goal must be always to learn from whatever the experience that we have gone through. In meditation, some experience the surface, we need to ask ourselves, what is the meaning of this experience? What is the message that I can learn from this past life experience? Once we ask the question, the answers emerge from us, because there's a certain lesson, even if it is a traumatic past life. For example, you mentioned about animal lifetime. Even animal lifetime also contributes to certain lessons. We carry so many memories from animal lifetimes as well. You are a shamanic healer, you are a monk in one lifetime. So definitely in this lifetime, there's something that you need to integrate.
So I had a common thing between all the past life, that I was killed by having shot on my heart. And in this life, I'm having a heartburn issue.
Okay.
Actually, I have, when I'm in meditation, it is okay. But when I'm not meditating, the heartburn reappears.
Oh, right. Yes, Siddharthji. Because there's a common theme in all the lifetimes where the heart is a place where it is always the injury of trauma is occurring, and it's like a death is all of a sudden. It's a sudden death. It's always coming from outside. It's not a natural death. So, am I correct? Did I understand correctly, Siddharthji?
Newton, I can say something?
Yes, yes.
I had one client and she had a back pain.
Okay.
Since some last 2-3 years she had a back pain. She can't turn her back. She has to sleep straight. She can't take that turn. So when I took her to the past life, she fell from the horse and somebody has hit it from the back side. So that pain she was carrying. Then I took her into that situation, in that condition, that where the pain has occurred. Then I program her subconscious mind that when you come back to the normal life, the pain won't be there. Now the pain has gone for permanently. And when she came back, the pain was disappeared. After 6 months, she has taken that turn.
Excellent, excellent.
This kind of people, they need personal past life. They must go to the situation and we must heal the situation.
Correct, correct.
Then they can come out from such kind of problems.
Correct, correct. Sometimes only in meditation, we don't integrate the experience. We don't really relive the experience. Very quick glimpses we have. And that's why though we access the memory, it won't be healing us. So, yeah, thanks, ma'am. Thanks for sharing. Yes, Preeti ji, please.
Okay, next.
Preeti ji, you can ask a question. Please unmute your mic. किरण त्रिवेदी जी, आप सभी को अपना माइक अनम्यूट करना होगा क्वेश्चन पूछने के लिए.
Hello.
हाँ जी बोलिए.
Can I ask? I'm Preeti here. Hello.
Please ask.
Yes. Okay, namaste sir, and good evening Sharma ji, Savita, Bhabhi ji. I don't know if you would recognize me. I'm Preeti Ramdia, and we had gone together to Dalhousie and Dharamshala. Oh, Preeti, yeah. How are you? Good. कैसे हैं भाभी जी? It's so nice to see you all again and connected. And तेरा नाम लेते हो डर याद आता है. Right. And we had a great time. Yeah. Yes. So my question is, sir, like now, suppose for a particular incident, if you go to a different masters for the past life, do you still like for a phobia or a fear? Is it the same past life that occurs, or is it a different question?
Because one can specifically focus on healing a particular issue, then they visit the same past life. But if they are not focusing, they are distracted, other past life memories can open up. It's important that we should not open many lifetimes, but instead focus on what is unhealed in the past that need to be healed right now. So you can focus on one single lifetime, but many, they try to open many memories. It's not going to be beneficial.
Yes, so many times.
Okay.
Ma'am,
Yeah. Hello.
हाँ
Hello.
प्रीति जी,
हाँ जी
हाँ
सर।
प्रीति,
हेलो।
हाँ प्रीति जी, हाँ प्रीति जी कुछ बाकी है?
अपना माइक।
Hello. Yeah. Can you hear me?
हाँ प्रीति बोलिए।
Yes. Yes. So, as I've done my inner child regression therapy from Tisha Katano, so doing a past life also add up to it. Will that help me even take up the clients and all in more further? So past life is just a past life, or it even goes up to the womb layer also.
Yes, they can go to the womb layer also. The childhood, womb, and past life memories. Some people, they directly go into past life. Sometimes they go in a very linear, successive manner, like first the childhood memories, then womb, and then one by one, layer by layer, they clear it.
Right. So
Yes.
yeah, so sometimes directly one does not go into a past life, but it could be if the trauma is at the womb layer or into an inner child, then
Yes.
first that can be resolved and then they might go to a past life.
Correct.
Is that so?
Yes, exactly. Because always we carry certain kinds of repetitions of the same past life scenario, even this current life. I can tell you, share a case study. A woman who had a difficult relationship with the husband, who was always feeling helpless and wanted to connect to her mother. She had always carried the guilt about the mother. I am not able to help my mother. That was the feeling to her.
Right.
She always had certain kinds of problems in her body, like a rigidity, neck rigidity, and also the stiff back was stiff. When we attempted the regression process, she visited childhood memories. In the childhood, all the memories are about worrying about her mother. She was a small little daughter. She was always worrying about mother. Oh, I'm not able to help my mother. She's doing a lot of work. I'm not able to. She was feeling so guilty for that. And when she visited womb memory, she was with a cord around her neck inside the womb. It was difficult labor for the mother. She was with suffocation. She could not come out, and she was thinking, oh, do I deserve to come out and live here? Okay. And when she visited a past life memory, she saw herself as a Dutch artist in Netherlands. She was an artist, a male. She was a male artist, had a wife and a child. But this artist was so absorbed in his talent, always, sometimes days together, he used to spend painting, never used to spend time with the family. So one time the child was sick. There was fever and infection. He was not there. He was not supported. And the child died actually, because there's no lack of medical support, lack of money and many things. And the artist really felt so much guilty. And the artist lived for almost like another 50 years. In the dying moments, he was thinking, he was feeling so guilty. Because of me, my child died. I don't deserve to live. What a waste of this life. And after that, in the soul plane, in the life between lives, what he had seen is the guides and angelic beings. They revealed the big picture to him. They said, the child who died is the mother who is the mother now. It's like a role reversal that happened. So immediately she could understand that the past life child is the mother. And she was worried about her mother all the time. She was born around the cord around the neck because she did not feel deserved to live, because in the past life she carried the guilt. Because of me, my child died. I could not give money and support and to not take care of my family. So the same child is incarnated as a mother in this life. And after this complete resolution, because all that she stored, the information in her neck rigidity, is because of that. Partly it's because of undesirability. I don't deserve to live. And guilt complexion she carried from the past life. this is how it happens. Most of the conditions, they go through layers, layer by layer. And thank you for asking this question. Thank you for sharing.
Next question.
हाँ जी सर, आप कुछ कह रहे थे.
Next.
अधीराज जी अपना माइक अनम्यूट कीजिए.
हेलो.
हाँ अधीराज.
हेलो. हाँ जी, मेरी आवाज आ रही है? हाँ जी. एक्चुअली थैंक यू फॉर दिस session. In my past life, I was a Buddhist monk, and I used to discriminate people according to their caste. So what should I do?
Okay, in that lifetime you used to discriminate. Now the lesson is you must look at people as equals. You must not discriminate. You must serve them. That's why past life, any kind of negative things that we have given to others, now not only learning the lesson, the theoretical lesson, but also putting into practice. In this lifetime, you can embrace everyone without any discrimination, as everyone's soul is the same, whether they are in a particular religion, a particular caste, a particular country. Everyone is the same. That is the lesson, for you. That can be implemented. Thank you.
प्रिया जी.
अनम्यूट करके प्रिया जी.
हाँ जी मैम बोलिए, आवाज आ रही है.
हेलो चरण स्पर्श गुरु जी, मैं पूछना चाहती थी कि जब भी हम PLR के लिए 2 बार मतलब सेशन हुआ है, फर्स्ट टाइम हुआ था तो तब मैंने जब करने गया ना, तो मेरे जो पैर है एकदम हैवी होने लगते हैं, तो ना कंसंट्रेशन नहीं हो पाता है.
Yes, Priya ji.
You want to say that Priya ji, आपको ये कहना है कि when you want to go to any past life, your legs become heavier and body becomes too heavy, so that it actually does not allow you to go. ऐसा बोलना चाहती ना? Yeah.
Okay, Priya ji. Yeah, it is generally the energy experience when we are entering into a meditative kind of relaxed state. We absorb cosmic energy, Priyaji. That cosmic energy initially, when it is entering into the body, it feels very heavy. The body, feet becomes very heavy, hands become very heavy, the body becomes very heavy. But after that, you feel lighter in the body, because sometimes some people, they require certain kinds of sadhana also, little meditation practice. You will get over this state. Next time when you attempt, you can access the past lives easily, because it's sometimes we get fear. What is happening to my body? My body is becoming very heavy, and it's very normal, natural experience for many people who are going through the regression experience. Because once we are entering into a trance state, our body goes through certain kinds of changes, like body may become very light, very heavy, certain changes, body temperature may change. These are all normal changes, but I recommend initial meditation practice. After that, you can attempt the regression, past life regression.
आप मेडिकल से मेडिटेशन की प्रैक्टिस करें तो आपके लिए जल्दी थोड़ा फर्क पड़ेगा. हाँ, नेक्स्ट.
ओम जी अपना माइक अनम्यूट कीजिए सर.
लास्ट 2 क्वेश्चन लेंगे बस अभी पूर्वी.
हाँ जी. किरण त्रिवेदी जी अपना माइक अनम्यूट कीजिए.
सर नमस्कार.
हाँ जी सर.
हाँ किरण जी.
सर मैं हिंदी में बात कर सकता हूँ?
हाँ बोलिए ना, कोई बात नहीं, मैं समझा दूंगा.
जी प्रणाम सर, प्रणाम, धन्यवाद सर. मैंने अभी रिसेंटली आपकी संस्था से जुड़ा हूँ, अभी तक महीना भर भी नहीं हुआ. और अभी मैंने लास्ट सेशन आपका अटेंड किया था, मैंने पास लाइफ बना, लेकिन मैं टच नहीं हो पाया, मतलब कनेक्ट नहीं हो पाया. कोई इशू नहीं, वो कोई इशू नहीं सर. अब मेरा सर
2-3 छोटे-छोटे क्वेश्चन है मेरे कि अपन जैसे अपन बात करते कि भाई आपके अभी करंट लाइफ में जो चल रहा है वो सब आपके कार्मिक कनेक्शन से है, आपकी पिछली लाइफ की उसके हिसाब से है, ठीक है। तो क्या अभी जो मैं फील कर रहा हूँ, जो मैं भोग रहा हूँ, वो क्या मेरा मतलब पुराने के हिसाब से मतलब जो भोगना हुआ या नया कर्म हुआ? अभी जो भी मैं सारी चीज में फेस कर रहा हूँ, क्या वो मतलब कोई नया कर्म चल रहा है मेरा, या मैं उस चीज को मैं भोग रहा हूँ? दूसरा क्वेश्चन कि आप जो बोल रहे हो कि सब कुछ मतलब आपको जो भी आगे आने वाले जो फ्यूचर होगा वो आपके हिसाब से होगा, तो क्या ऐसे कर्म मतलब अपने क्या कुछ करे कि उससे अपनी बेटर लाइफ हो, एक अच्छी लाइफ हो, अपने आने वाला भविष्य जो है वो अपना अच्छा हो सके, बेटर हो सके? तीसरा क्वेश्चन मेरा लास्ट, क्या मतलब जन्म मरण से कुछ अपन छुटकारा पा सकते हैं? इसको अपन बोलते हैं मोक्ष।
Yeah, the only I heard, I think there was some interruption, sir. Can you say these 3 questions, Sharma ji?
See, actually, he was asking that today, whatever problems I am facing in my life, so does it connected with my past karma? Therefore, I am suffering now. And if I want to change my future, so what shall I do to change my future now? And then can I be free myself from the circle of the death and the birth?
Okay.
So he was asking this question, 3 questions.
Sure. And the first question, yes, it is true that there is a karmic consequence. Kinds of pattern suffering in this life, certain limitations, but that limitation and suffering should not make us get obstructed. We should not feel it as something that is blocking us. Instead, we have free will to progress. These 2 things are very important. One is karmic destiny. There is we can make there is a karmic destiny, there is a free will. So the karmic destiny makes us move through a lot of limiting experiences and suffering moments in this current life. But there is one thing called in everyone a free will. Free will means exercising power of choice. For example, you can accelerate your evolution through your practice spiritual sadhana, and so that the karma part, whatever the baggage that you're carrying, you can clear it. So that is possible. The second question that you asked, is it possible to nullify, neutralize the karma? Yes. Learning the lessons from the past, meditation practice, and also seva. Any kind of seva that you do, nishkama seva, you're going to end that karma. And the third one, yes, it's possible that we can break the cycles of birth and death. We call it as moksha. It is possible for people who are very sincere, who are really practitioners, who really are dedicated to achieve moksha. They're bound to get the moksha.
Is it, Dr. Newton, is it possible that all the karma so far, whatever we have earned from so many past lives, is it possible that within few days or months by certain sadhana, everything can be dissolved and the whole, we can move ahead very purely and
okay. Yes, it's always according to person's ability to learn, sir. One of the, I like Bhagavad Gita, what Lord Krishna spoken about in 2 slokas. One sloka he said, Jnana Agni Dagdha Karmanam, means with the fire of knowledge, fire of wisdom of the soul, all the karmic seeds are burnt. They don't germinate again. Means
wonderful.
That's one thing. And second thing, he given a beautiful clarity about apichedasi papebhyah sarvebhyah parapakruttamaha sarvam gnanaplavenaiva srujanam nantarishati. Means even the greatest sinner in the world of sinners can completely let go of all things by journeying on this big ocean with the help of a boat. Even a small boat can carry us from this shore to the other shore. This is called boat of wisdom. So Lord Krishna, Gyan Marg, he was recommending that. That means when we progress in that, we can actually neutralize it. But it's not easy as I just say it, sir. It is sadhana. It is also.
Yeah, this is basically, it's there should be a great thirst and great practice also.
Correct.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Wonderful. And और कोई है बस लास्ट एक लास्ट क्वेश्चन लेते हैं बस.
I wanted to ask one question if time permits.
Yes, please.
Yeah, Dr. Shweta, my daughter-in-law.
Yes, wonderful.
So I am pregnant right now, and I just wanted to know if I can go into past life regression in this stage, and how safe is it, and what all can be done regarding it.
Okay. First of all, I must say that you are bringing such a great soul to the planet Earth now. At this point of time, the first thing as a mother would be what you can do is, you in meditation, you communicate with your baby. You communicate with your fetus. This is called pre-birth communication. You can tell the baby that it's safe, and I really eagerly waiting to invite you, welcome you into this world, and all these things which will really create a safe cocoon around the baby. And tell the baby before you attend the past life session, whatever the past life regression session that I am attempting, whatever the emotional stuff that comes out, it belongs to me, it does not belong to you. And also you can place around the baby a kind of beautiful light around, a safe cocoon around the baby, so that the baby don't get affected with this process. So this you can attempt, or else wait till the master is delivered, the great being is coming into this world. After that you can attempt. Meanwhile, meditation practice you can do. It's safe.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. All the best for you.
Thank you.
Okay. So मैं अब डॉक्टर न्यूटन को धन्यवाद देना चाहूंगा. मैं अभी उनको के बहुत thank you, Dr. Newton, for taking such your precious time, and you have gifted such a wonderful precious knowledge of India to all my students, and they are so happy to see you here today. So thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
And I thank you all the students even.
Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to share with everyone. And Sharma ji and Savita ji, both of you are so dear to us. And thank you so much, dear friends, all of you, for participating today.
डॉक्टर सविता कुछ बोलना चाहेगी? डॉक्टर सविता कुछ बोलना चाहेगी?
Yes. Hello, Newton.
Hello, madam.
You are a great soul, and you have given awesome knowledge to the people. God bless you.
Thank you, Shavita ji.
God bless you.
Thank you.
So just keep on coming on the
sure
and give this, share this knowledge to people, so it will be helpful to them.
Sure, definitely.
Yeah.
Thank
she
you.
was my daughter-in-law who asked the question.
Yes. That's wonderful.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Newton. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you to all the students. See you again. हम फिर और अच्छे नए क्लास हम फिर से आएंगे.
Thank you to everyone. Thank you the team, and thank you all the students.